Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. My name is G. You're watching Allastrology, Aquarius. This is your video. We have a lot to discuss. There's big changes coming, and yeah, it's going to get real. So we are going to just jump right into this. We have a new beginning in March, right at the front end of the month. There's a full moon that happens. The moon itself won't be completely full until March 7th, and that's when the degrees match. It is a full moon in Virgo. Virgo full moon at 16 degrees and 40 minutes, I want to say. Yeah, 1640. Now, Virgo can be home because it's domestic side of life, right? It's home, not as in emotions, but home as in the things that happen in the home. Like, how does home function? The word function equals the word Virgo, a place for everything, a thing for every place. The Virgo is about organizing, setting up and organizing, right? This goes here, this lives here, this sleeps here, that does not belong there. Like, that's Virgo energy, right? It wants things to make sense. So you often hear make it make sense. A lot of these are Virgo terms. Virgo energy is how do we function in the house? Whose chore is it to do this? Whose chore is it to do that? We got to keep inventory. We got to have lists. Don't we write lists, right? Who's going to go do the laundry? Who's going to get the laundry done? Do we need soap for the laundry? Do we send out our laundry? Whose job is it to send it out? Who gets the food? How do we get food to the house? Does somebody have to go to the store? Do we have to write a list before we go to the store? What about the calendar? This is all Virgo. What about the calendar? Who is going to write up the list for the week? Oh, it was your turn. It says on the calendar, it's your turn to take out the trash. Like, this is all Virgo stuff. All of it is Virgo, right? Oh, isn't the furnace supposed to be cleaned once a year? Like, that's a Virgo thing. Well, we've got the furnace scheduled in on this date, right? These are all Virgo things, right? The functions in the home. It can be pets as well. Virgo tends to be a little on the cat side of energy because at one time Virgo and Leo were considered one sign, believe it or not. So Leo, the cat, Virgo is right next to it. Lots of cat energy, grooming, right? Cleaning, that's Virgo. Cleaning and cleanliness. Even if it's not like spick and span cleaning, depends on the Virgo and yeah, some other things in their chart. But typically, definitely wanting things in a certain spot. And I live with two Virgos, and it's funny sometimes. Many times it's not funny, where it's like this belongs here, but the other person thinks it belongs here, right? Or the other person, just not even caring at times, like where it goes. Or yeah, I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest with you. But either way, it's you want to piss off a Virgo, move something in the house, like put it in a spot where it's normally not supposed to be. That's a Virgo thing, absolutely. Now, Virgos are the routines I just kind of described in the house. There's a lots of routines, right? And so there's tasks. They also like to be doing things, projects. So they could be like the person who's outside in the garden because Virgo is about health. So when we think of our health, we got to think of like our food and our stomach, right? It's digestion. And so Virgo energy is always kind of like in tune with that innately, right? So they you might see these people as someone who's like, yeah, I think I want to have a garden. I think I want to grow my own veggies, right? Now, this full moon would mean an end to some of those things. And it doesn't mean an end like they're over. It just means there's a change in the routine. You follow? So this can also be job energy, like the tasks and the projects and the routines at the job. Right. So this means you could be changing a department at your job. This could just simply have to do with if you work out of your home or just work in projects that you do at home, like I listed. Whose turn is it to cut the grass? Whose turn is it to take out the garbage? Like maybe all that shifting. Maybe every year people change and say, well, last year I spent the whole year emptying the dishwasher. Can we switch it up this year? This year I get to be the one who unloads or who loads the dishwasher. I don't know. These are just examples, folks. Use your imagination. Give me some clues. Comment some stuff to me and tell me how your Virgo energy expresses in your life. But for Aquarius, we want to know where this is happening because it's an ending and a closure. It's a completion energy and it's Virgo. So this is your eighth house. So your Virgo in your eighth house, this is typically going to be over shared values. The eighth house energy is stuff that isn't just yours. It can be like inheritances, which would mean like maybe it's mom and dad's stuff and you're going to inherit it, right? It's, sometimes referred to, even could be like cash, like when you get literally a cash inheritance. Um, there's another word for that, an estate, right? There's another word for that. That's not even the word that I kept hearing, and it just went so fast I don't have it any longer. But it's shared values. Okay. Now, if it's Virgo, it can also be shared wounds, shared experiences, blood bond energy, but beyond blood bond energy. Because blood bond is more like family, people who have the same bloodline as you, right? This can go beyond that because it's the eighth house. So it's like soul memory, soul history. These are people that we have that soulful resonating thing happening. Like we talk to them, we can even look in their eyes, and like we just know. Like there's just that that oneness, that familiarity is just there, and you can't really erase it, right? So if it's shared energy, because when we're talking about something that's not tangible, it's shared energy, shared experiences, right? How many people have you bonded with because you went through something together, even though you may have been like not very close before it happened, but then because you shared that event, all of a sudden, yeah, that common thing creates a bond. So it's eighth house, which is Scorpio energy. And so Scorpio energy has a tendency to be intense, and it can be something that's buried deep down because, well, that's Scorpio energy. It's buried deep down, so far down sometimes we're not aware of it. And it's buried deep down because it's a thing that we feel vulnerable about. Right. Now, it's likely going to be, when I think of vulnerabilities, it can very likely be being too idealistic about things, or having almost critical, having an eye where we either somebody was critical of you or you were critical of somebody else, because at the opposite of that Virgo energy is Pisces energy, and that is very idealistic energy. It's like perfection. It's an emotion connected to the past even. So I think when there's a full moon here, I like this. This is a great place to have a release, because that's what it is. A full moon's a release. And if it has to do with a wound of the past, then you're releasing it. Now, if it's a material, tangible thing, well, then that could be something that, like, let's just pretend that I inherited this pen, right? So this would be considered like this Piscean thing. Like it wasn't really mine. It was, say, a relative, and they passed it on to me. And then I passed it on to somebody else, right? So that would be, I'm releasing it. At the most basic level, it could be something as simple as that. Look for the degrees 1640 in your chart. If you need help finding that out, just comment to me and I will help you in any way that I can. Now, there's more. Saturn makes a move on the same day as this full moon. Saturn is moving out of Aquarius energy. It's leaving your sign and it's going into Pisces energy. Yeah. Now, this may be different for you, okay? I'm going to be honest, because if it's going into Pisces, this means it's likely going into your second house. And if it even isn't it at this exact on the same day for you, because some of you have different shaped charts. Some of the houses are this big, some of them are this big. And so if you want to know for certain, just like I said, comment to me and I can tell you, well, this is going to happen at this time. It might be further down the line, okay? Because everybody's uniquely different in each chart. There's no two charts that are the same, even of twins, if you can believe that. So we have this thing here, and it's money, it's values, it's love. Because Saturn is in Pisces now, right? And your Pisces energy, when I look at your details, your Pisces energy is in your second house of money. It's in your second house of, this is my income. This is what I value. The second house is intake. It's coming in, right? It's how I receive. That is your second house energy. So I'm like, okay, great. So if Saturn is going there, Saturn is considered time. So to me, for some folks, this could be retirement time, right? Because it represents old money then, second house money, Saturn going their old money. So for many people, maybe they are going to be inheriting something. Maybe they'll be receiving something that is old and of value, right? But Saturn typically brings rules. typically brings restrictions. Typically, it can be all about responsibilities and duties because that is Saturn energy. It's my goals and my ambitions, right? So it can show up differently because you have free will. All right. And Saturn being here in Pisces, Pisces is spiritual. Pisces is it can be the 5D realm where we don't see it. We feel it, we don't see it. So if you have Saturn going into that second house, it can kind of restructure your money. Absolutely. Because it's Saturn. Right. So it can be beneficial. I would need to see other things in your chart to see like, okay, is this squaring or is this trining? Is this setting someone up for success? And that is what Saturn wants you to do. Saturn comes in and says, I'm going to make you more responsible because that's the feeling of Saturn. I feel responsible. I feel it's my duty. And it's like, yes, you need to do this. So Saturn comes in and it could bring work. It could bring you additional work, a responsibility that will likely bring you money because it's in your second house. So I like that for you. That's just like, that's a piece of good news, I would think. Now, let's move on to the further part of the month. We're talking the 21st. We have a new moon, a new beginning. And this new beginning is in Aries energy. It's a big deal. And I could think of an Aries sun right now who's probably like, yeah, baby, I'm so ready for this, right? Because it's an Aries beginning. It's near the 0 degrees point. It's on the world axis, and which means it's something usually quite big. Okay. So it's like 0 degrees, but check in your chart. Do you have a planet? Do you have a house cusp line at 0 or 1 or even 2 degrees of Aries energy? It's a new beginning. Okay. Because that's what new moons are. It's a time of setting intentions. This is a powerful point though. At that 0 degrees, I did a little extra homework. It's about you can use your own power. You can use your mind. You can use your thought. Write down intentions. You can focus your will. You can focus your emotion towards this is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what I envision and see. And the power is here because it's near this 0 degrees point. Okay. It's all about visualizing and for that becoming, that being tangible and a reality for you. This is your third house of the mind and the way you think and your thoughts. So this is super powerful, Aries. I was just talking about thinking and thoughts and how to focus it and how you can use this powerful degree, this world axis point, to manifest what you want for your life going forward. If it's Aries, it means it's something new. If it's Aries, it means you will be the leader of it. If it's Aries, it means people will look up to you. They will expect you to be the one who's leading it. All right. Third house is the writer, the scribe. Okay. The third house is really creative energy, but it's also learning something new. So with Aries, it screams new. It screams new. Okay. So we can be impulsive. We can be assertive. We can be the first one to get there, the first one to do it. We can be the one who's just at the front of the line, right? Aries on a really high level, it expresses as a spiritual leader at a really high level. That's expressing as a spiritual leader. You got to figure out what it is that you want and start writing those things down. Put those thoughts and that power behind it. Put those emotions involved and create your new reality. Individuality is huge. Freedom of my body, freedom of actions, my body consciousness, who I am, how do I appear to people? This is all Aries keywords. Third house. Writing, talking, social media, communication, sales. Third house, sales, business, networking, trade, all the third house keywords. Okay. Now, there's more. 2 days after this, on the 23rd, we have Pluto. Pluto is making a move. Pluto's leaving Capricorn and it's going into Aquarius, your sign. Yeah. Now, Aquarius, this would be the way you appear. So there's some major changes coming. Because wherever Pluto goes, once it makes that change, it is forever changed. It is forever changed. All right. Now, if it's Aquarius, Aquarius is you. First word jumping out of my head is unique. Something very unique about you. There's something about you where you look like you're free, right? Because you're so unique. You're not necessarily tethered, right? This is just your appearance, though, because it would be the first house that this is happening in. So it's your physical body and your appearance. Appearances can be our clothing, our gear, our, what we wear, our accessories, my hair, right? That can be all these things have a lot to do with how we appear. Do you wear sunglasses? Do you wear a hat? Do you not? Right? Something is changing. And for many of you, it can literally be your physical appearance. So that could be weight gain, weight loss, dyeing the hair, growing it out, cutting the hair. Lots of changes can be made. Now, this happens on the 23rd of March. And if Pluto is going there, it's deep. It's a change at a deep level. Now, Aquarian energy is nerves, because I have to connect it to the body because it's your first house. It's the nerves of your body. But Aquarius is also ankle. Keep that in mind. It's ankles. So if we have something happening with Aquarius and Pluto gets involved, just be aware of that, ankles, and just be careful, right? There might be something that happens. I'm not saying that is what is going to happen. Let's be clear. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out that for anybody who has Aquarius on the ascendant, ankles, you may have sensitive ankles. You may have had sensitive ankles. And so Pluto coming through there can make some changes for you. Okay. Pluto's not going to stay there for long in this year, 2023. It only stays in that. So we're talking March, April, May, and then it backs out. It doesn't go beyond 0 degrees. It stays at 0 degrees, like 0.22 or something. And then it backs out, and it backs out all the way until a year from now. So it's not until another year from now that Pluto will be back into your sign. So this is going to give you a few months of a foreshadow so that you could have a glimpse as to what it's going to be about once it comes back in 2024. And then in 2024, once Pluto is there, it's going to be there for the next 20 years of your life until 2044. Thank you for your time, Aquarius. I hope this was helpful for you. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.